Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 5 in this best of 9 grand finals between MarineLorD and Beastyqt. Spawning in on the right side of the map with the red color playing as the Chinese is Beastyqt in red on King of the Hill, his final home map.
Spawning in over on the west side of the map, which is known as the best side of the map, it is going to be MarineLorD, who is playing as the Blue Rus player. Oh, take a look at that. That already tells you a little bit about how he wants to play this. This is going to be a feudal age play, that is for sure. From the positioning on that, look at that. That hunting cabin. That is smack bang right in the corner, isn't it?
Indeed it is. For those of you new to the game, the reason why Drongo can conclude that this is going to be a feudal heavy aggression by MarineLorD is because that hunting cabin is placed in the corner. So, for a Rus, you do generate gold with those hunting cabins based on the amount of trees that you have in the influence radius. And of course, the best place to place a hunting cabin is going to be in that corner. Now, there is a landmark with the Rus in H3 called the Hydrate House, which acts as a big hunting cabin, generates a lot more gold proportionally than a hunting cabin. So if you want to play a long game, you reserve that corner spot for a Hydrate House. But if you want to play a very aggressive game that essentially ends in feudal age, then you can take that corner spot, get the most efficient hunting cabin at the beginning of the game, because you have no plans of dropping a Hydrate House in that left-hand side corner.
Huge opening right here for MarineLorD. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but MarineLorD may have run away from the town center with his 2 starting sheep and forgot to drop them off, which meant that he ran a little bit barren underneath that town center, was subsequently forced to drop a hunting cabin down on his berries at 2 minutes and 10 seconds into this game. That is not a good start. Basically, he has just gimped himself 100 wood out of the gate. That does not feel good.
That does not feel good at all. It's actually worse than with any other civilization because those hunting cabins are pricier than the standard mills. So with a civilization like French, you're perfectly fine going to the berries. It's only 25 wood for your mill. With other civilizations, let's say the HRE, okay, it's fine because you pay 50 wood. But how about the Rus having to pay 100 wood just to drop that hunting cabin on those berries? Such an early stage of the game, that is an absolute pain, and it's going to hurt the early game of MarineLorD so much.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now let's take a look at the base of Beasty. Let's see exactly what he's up to. Try and dissect that first, or that opening build order a little bit. I want to have a look and see where he's placed down this this landmark, the Imperial Academy, and just double check exactly what resources he's going to pick up. So it looks like he gets the mill. I don't think he's going to be able to get that mining camp in there. If we click on the Imperial Academy in his perspective, we will be able to see what buildings it does affect, which will be denoted by that little plus sign above the heads of the building. So there's no plus above the mining camp, but there are pluses above the lumber camp as well as the mill. So nice little spot that he's got here behind the town center. I'm going to give this, considering the circumstances, I would say this is optimal placement for that Imperial Academy. So that's a 10.
Oh, you're giving it a 10. I'm much more cruel than that. I wanted to give it a 3.6 out of 10. Not great, not terrible.
Well, the reason I give it a 10 is because it's based on the spawn. I mean, if you were going to say, like, obviously it doesn't have the stone, it doesn't have the gold, but when it comes to placing your Imperial Academy down and getting it in the right spot, it can be quite a skill, and Beastyqt obviously a master of that here. We've seen great placement out from him throughout the day, and this one here definitely going to be a great spot.
Yeah, of course, given the circumstances, it's great. If the map spawn was a little more favorable, it could be a lot better, but it is indeed, given the circumstances, probably the best thing that Beasty could have gotten for himself. And with the fact that MarineLorD has a bit of a hard time in this early game, that's also a nice extra for him, because as we pointed out, MarineLorD's early game isn't going to be as spectacular thanks to the fact that that hunting cabin had to be dropped out there. And am I seeing villagers moving forward? Okay, they're just moving from the straggler tree. For a brief moment, I contemplated the idea of dropping a Barbican of the Sun on one of those boars. Speaking of the boars, because we do have a Rus in the mix, we do have one down to the south on neutral ground in the middle of nowhere, and the other one is to the north, very close to a deer patch. So such an expansion in that direction from the Rus could be very beneficial, because not only would you get the boar, you would also get the deer carcasses.
Well, I wouldn't go too crazy with that idea that you had, because I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a Barbican come out for Beastyqt. We can see behind the scenes a wooden fortress gets dropped down for MarineLorD. He's moving villagers out as well, so potentially we may see ourselves having a bit of an early aggression. And there go the villagers heading out to drop that Barbican. So you talked about it, the fact that they had moved out over onto the straggler tree, but it seemed to be not necessarily a bait. Oh, scout going down for Beastyqt.
That's ugly.
Yeah,
that's ugly for Beasty.
That is a mistake you rarely see.
Ooh, it's gonna be a Barbican of the Sun on the sacred side here, apparently. Actually, he might be Barbicaning the top of the hill, and that would be beautiful.
Oh my
Beasty,
God. Ed
beautiful.
Sheeran wrote a song about this. Barbican on the hill, baby. It is beautiful. Oh my Lord, I love it. Isn't this so smart, Lidakor?
Oh, I love it. And there's gonna be a counter tower, but the Barbican's like, that's going to deny the hunt, and that's all you want to accomplish over here if you're Beasty. Look at that beautiful view on the hunt, and it's even going to deny the deer. This is an 11 out of 10 Barbican.
That is an 11 out of 10 Barbican, that is for sure. If we're rating Barbicans, that's 11 out of 10. Not only does he get points for positioning, he gets points for style, and he gets the classic Ed Sheeran point. That is right, the Barbican on the hill. Scout goes down, so a 1 for 1. Turn that into a 12 out of 10 right there. Those villagers just doing so much work.
I mean, ever since Beasty lost that initial scout, he's been on fire. The last 1 minute was probably the best and cleanest gameplay I've ever seen in my life in Age of Empires 4. Everything going to perfection, and MarineLorD now forced back into his base with no access to that board, no access to those deer carcasses. And remember, he already started depleting his berries because he had to do that, and now there is the Barbican for Beasty. He's moving out.
Not your Barbican, mate. Well, not your boar, my boar. Villager does go down there, so we're just seeing it's starting to get to that point in the night where players are just like the stamina is dropping to record lows. People are getting tilted off their seats. Like, it's just not going well for anybody. And now we're starting to see mistakes coming out of the wazoo. 2 scouts going down, sheep not being under the town center, villager losing its life underneath the town center. It's not pretty. It is not pretty right now.
Yeah, not at all. And the thing is that these guys have been playing in a high-intensity environment for the last, like, 2.5, 3 hours, and there could still be a lot more to go. So conserving your stamina in many ways is also a factor over here. Even if you're not completely drained just yet in regards of your stamina, you have to be considerate of the fact that this could still go a lot longer than it is right now. But as you pointed out, attrition starts to kick in over here. Both of these players very comfortable playing long sets though. They regularly stream 7-8 hours a day, and you get the feel that this could actually benefit MarineLorD. Let me tell you why. MarineLorD's sleep schedule is completely messed up. He randomly shows up at 3 a.m. and starts to play games, and that could actually benefit him over here because this game could go deep into the night. But you know what else could go deep? The Spearman into the food eco of MarineLorD.
Well, you talked about going deep and you talked about messing up, but you want to know what's really messed up? MarineLorD, he's expanding onto berries with the hunting cabin as Rus at 9 minutes into the game. That's what's messed up. This is a civilization that doesn't like to go on berries until like minute 17. And you got this guy building 2 hunting cabins, and we're not even in the 9th minute. This is not pretty right now. MarineLorD looking to head into the castle age, so dropping down this landmark. Bit of a strange option for him to go that here, but look, let's see how it go. Let's see how it plays out for him. But whew, it's not looking good for MarineLorD right now. Let's just put it that way.
Especially because his fast castle is more like a slow castle over here. You see, Beasty is already on the way to castle age as well with the clock tower, so securing those relics isn't going to be super easy here for MarineLorD either. You take a look at him, he has the Abbey of the Trinity, so he wants to go for those relics. Relics are fairly evenly distributed, but hold on for a second. One of those are voled in by Beasty. 2 are on the north, where that Barbican is establishing presence for Beastyqt. So it is going to be difficult. It's going to be quite difficult, actually, for MarineLorD to secure more than, let's say, 2 relics in here.
And this is a great matchup for China, largely because when you do get to this castle stage, MarineLorD wants to make horse archers. And you want to know an incredibly powerful unit against the horse archer? The Chokunu.
I was hoping that you're going to say Grenadier, but yeah, within I knew that the answer is going to be the Chukonu. Of course, it's a great composition. As you said, it's not even a composition, it's just a single unit out there. As you see, the Spearman actually managed to stab down one of those horse archers. Big loss over there for MarineLorD, but so it is for Beastyqt to lose a couple of villagers here on the hunt. And as you pointed out, attrition is kicking in for both of these players because we are losing a lot of units over here very, very easily on both sides.
That was a lot of villagers that went down. But speaking of going down, we might have a Monk in the middle that's going to go down. It's going to get the Walla off. I think he hits this.
Oh,
no, he doesn't. The Monk, unfortunately, losing its life.
Oh man, if there was ever a chance to grab a Wololo, it was this one. It got so close, but ultimately the Spearman finished off. And look at that, MarineLorD rallying his horse archers to the middle, runs into the Spearman once again. 2 more horse archers went down, and those are pricey units, especially on the food cost, and especially for a Rus player that is taking berries already. So many unnecessary losses there for MarineLorD.
Now dropping a hunting cabin on the edge of the map here. So I don't know whether he's thinking about... hold on. I think that's meant to be a lumber camp, isn't it? There's so many vills down there. Look in that position. Oh, no. Oh, there's a boar. There's a boar. Okay. There's a boar. I'm sitting there wondering, what is he doing with a lumber camp here? Or a mining camp? Or just... Oh, never mind. I can't remember what those things are called.
Hunting cabin. That's where you're going.
Thank you, yes. The fatigue is settling in for everybody, but... Beastyqt now going to be gathering up stone on that stone mine. He's headed past that 300 count, which means that he's not going for a second town center. No. It is going to be a keep that goes down in that central sacred site area.
And this is where losing all those horse archers hurts for MarineLorD. He lost like 4 or 5 horse archers in this battle already. He would have a grand total of 8. That would basically prevent Beastyqt from dropping a keep in the middle without considerable military presence. Now he's down to only 3 horse archers. Some of them are actually busy cleaning up these spears. So Beastyqt could just march up to the top of that hill and go for a keep, and MarineLorD has nothing to stop it with. In fact, I'm wondering if he's just going to move out without any protection, knowing that MarineLorD doesn't have the forces to stop him.
Yeah, that could definitely be an option for him. There's really not a lot of units out for MarineLorD right now. Barely anything. But we do see Nesta Bees starting to come out. The second one already out on the field. And this is a great counter as well to those horse archers. Just huge damage comes out. As long as they're well protected, that's going to be the key. But now it looks like Beastyqt is going to be under attack. MarineLorD has taken that sacred site. We've got the timer that's counting down. On 9 minutes and 45 seconds so far. Spear raids coming in non-stop as well.
Yeah, spear raids became very popular this last weekend over here. We are seeing a lot of players using those left and right. And once again, a couple of freebies on those horse archers. Good value for that small investment for Beastyqt out there. He might even stab down 1 more horse archer. Looks like that gets away with low HP. And now there is the keep coming in here, supported by Nest of Bees. This is why Beastyqt loves this map. He loves to play this defensive style approach, and this is a semi-all-in style approach here for him. He's not going to completely all-in this one, but he wants to make sure that he's gonna have to commit a tremendous amount of resources, units, to decap that sacred site, because Beastyqt is going to secure that very soon, and I wonder if he's going to continue gathering stone to drop a second keep soon, because I think that's his way to go. Drop a second keep, secure the sacred site, and then just play defensive.
Yeah, he's definitely got the advantage at this stage. He's going to be neutralizing that sacred site in the center. He's already got a pretty decent hold on this central area. Not only is the Barbican there, but that keep is now going to be down as well. The 2 Nesta Bees helping out, just solidify that position. But the horse archers together with a couple of scouts going to be on that lower ground and looking to find a way through that wall. We see outposts coming up in the middle as well. And now you've got to start thinking about siege options for MarineLorD, because he's going to be looking at, whether it's trebuchets, whether it's rams. The Beastie is reacting already with some walls of his own.
And of course, you also have to consider the fact that the astronomical clock tower allows you to make the clock tower springolds, which do have more health than standard springolds. So if this turns into that siege war where both sides are adding springolds to snipe the opponent's siege, the Chinese do have the upper hand in that regard, and I would expect Beast to start getting those springolds in rather soon. Looks like that relic is going to just change owner here. Beastie is going to take the second relic for himself, and given the circumstances, having 2 relics against the Rus like this is pretty admirable. Chop through coming in though by MarineLorD. He really wants to get in with a couple of horse archers here, and he's gonna have his window to do so.
Yeah, very smart move there from MarineLorD. Obviously paying attention over this side of the map. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we did see that warrior monk going down to about 6 spearmen. and a single monk that was actually being killed by the warrior monk picked up the relic. So that was a big swing down there on that position. But now going to be able to break through towards his enemy's base. We'll check in over with our Chinese player Beastyqt and see how that raid goes. He's going to have vision of it, but that villager line, it is going to be subject to a lot of damage right now as the knight runs in. Together with the scouts, first villager going to be going down. Looks like the villagers continue to be targeted. I'm not sure if he's got his textile upgrade right now, but it doesn't seem like he does. There's a lot of damage on these units.
Yeah, and right now you just don't have a response to that. If you look at Beastie's army, he has 8 spearmen, 4 nest of bees. That's it. He wasn't expecting to fight here inside his base. Looks like the nest of bees gets a nice volley out, kills the knight. That is probably the most valuable thing that you could have killed in that army, because now a single nest of bees should be able to hold back the remaining horse archers. Looks like a tower attempted at the south by Beastie is not going to go up. And looks like MarineLorD might be thinking about something very similar coming in at the south now with horsemen.
Yeah, look at this. This is the second time in the series we've seen MarineLorD go for a really heavy horseman style. And now Beastie tries to wall out his enemy away from this hunt. But by the same token, Beastie's still got a pretty decent mass of spears up himself. Take a look at that. He's got 9 on the field with 2 more in queue. So things aren't looking terrible for him. He's got to be careful with these villagers, though. These villagers are out. They're stone walling at the moment, but they've turned their attention away towards this outpost instead.
And the stone wall foundations now can be attacked. This is a new thing, a relatively new thing. You can destroy those, and the horse archers will prevent the villagers. All those horsemen could get in here for MarineLorD. This is a disaster for Beastie if those horsemen get in.
Yeah, he's really trying his best to just draw attention away from that sacred site. You can definitely see the intent from a MarineLorD and the way that he's playing here. Up to 30 horsemen now. MarineLorD is looking very strong with that cavalry composition that he's got. In fact, only running cavalry at this point and has no infantry of any sort.
Notably, MarineLorD also banked up a ton of stones, so he's fully aware of the fact that at some point he's gonna have to contest that central sacred site, and he's going to do that with a castle drop. Right now he's setting himself up to do that by just pushing in with those horsemen. He's going to find himself a nest of bees over here in all certainty, as the spearmen now close the gap. Oh, it's gonna get taken down before the repairs come in.
Oh, the villagers were so close on that. That was a very close clutch repair. But unfortunately, those nest of bees getting taken out. This is the consequence of bringing a nest of bee to a horseman fight. They don't typically do well, and as a result, they do get punished. But now Stonewall's on the north side getting punished as well. MarineLorD really looking to open up the center here by taking around the edges. The soft, gooey center is slowly being exposed. MarineLorD is making Beastie look like a lava cake right now.
And he's just diagnosing the scenario so well over here. He knows Beastie's playstyle. He knows that Beastie loves to play with that slow siege-focused army. Just defend the middle. So what MarineLorD is doing is distracting him from all directions. And now you see that Beastie had to pull back his forces to his base. He moves in with the cavalry. And this is the time for MarineLorD to potentially decap that sacred site.
Villagers getting their stabby stab on right now. He's trying his best just to avoid any additional damage to be taken on those nest of bees. Another nest of bees on the low ground hanging out for... how long has that nest of bees been there? But I feel like it might have been quite some time. He's got 6 nest of bees out on the field, but not a single infantry unit comes out for MarineLorD. So it's not necessarily a counter unit at this point. So even though he's losing them, it's not really like he's losing some sort of key, is he?
Oh, the nest of bees though getting close to that castle, and this could be a complete collapse here for MarineLorD. Nest of bees setting up, and oh my goodness!
When it rains, it pours, it seems. That was a lot of damage, and now firing down upon the backside. It looks like he's going to be able to get them out. Nest of bees have to fall back from this position, and Trebuchet on the low ground as well starts firing down upon the outpost. MarineLorD's been able to establish himself up on this hill, and that is half the battle when it comes to this map.
Indeed, and the countdown is still going on. 5:30 left to go. Castle face-off in the middle, though. New trebuchets being added over here by MarineLorD, starting to show the castles. Third keep being added here by Beastyqt, though. He lost quite a lot of villagers over here, so his win condition is getting closer and closer to being exclusive to just holding that sacred site. And with the Chinese builders, that keep is going up before the horsemen could arrive. A couple of villagers will be taken down here before that happens, though.
Yeah, those keeps looking very strong. No boiling oil just yet. MarineLorD is getting his own boiling oil in and also getting plenty of trebuchets. He's got 3 out at the moment, 1 more in the queue, and 4 trebuchets is the key number. At 4, it becomes almost impossible to out-heal the damage of the keep. And if you do try and out-heal it, I'm sure you could probably do it. You're just going to be wasting away so much of that wood, and it just really, it gets to the point where it's just not worth it. There's other ways to counter those trebuchets that are just more effective, and one of the things that we haven't seen Beasty do is add in more Springles. He's in fact made no Springles this game. He's sitting on 6 Nest of Bees at this point in the game, and 0 Springles.
And a source of concern is that while the Clock Tower Springles are really effective, you do have a limited production with that clock tower, so the other thing that you can do is just supervise a siege workshop to catch up with numbers, but then you lose your benefit of the clock tower, and you see insufficient wood coming in here for Beasty. He's unable to repair that keep out there. As you said, the magical number is 4 for MarineLorD here. He has managed to take down the first keep, and now he's pushing towards the second one. Still 4 minutes left to go. One has to wonder if Beasty is going to be able to keep those castles alive long enough.
Yeah, he's trying his best, but as you mentioned, insufficient wood always going to be a problem when it comes to keeping these things up. But now firing down upon this this keep over on the other side, we can see that there's just no trebuchets. There's absolutely nothing here for Beastyqt to really take out this combination. And MarineLorD continues pushing in. This is the difficult thing to deal with, right? Because you've got trebuchets and you've got keeps. How do you get in underneath there? Well, you need to take out your enemy's keeps so that you can actually get in underneath them and take out those trebuchets. And you can't take out those keeps unless you've got your own trebuchets. And so it becomes this real game of cat and mouse about who's got the trebuchets, who's got the Springles. But in this case, it just seems that MarineLorD's the only guy who's playing with any form of trebuchet.
Yeah, one has to wonder if this is intentional. In fact, this is probably intentional from Beasty. If you take a look at the hill, there is considerable elevation over here. He probably feels like he can't get an angle with Springles. So Beasty doesn't want, like, this sounds weird, but Beasty doesn't want to keep those castles alive. What he wants to do is prevent the enemy units from running into that circle, I feel. Will that work? I don't know. But you get the feel that MarineLorD is going to have his window to decap this one. If Beasty wanted to add Springles already, he would have added Springles by now. He wants to just play this one with full Spearman Nest of Bees.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And, you know, I saw a comment in the chat a little bit earlier. It said 99% of the games played on this map end with the player that takes the site and then puts a keep up there winning the game. Well, I can tell you right now, Beasty is not in a position to really hold this central sacred site. There's 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on this timer. But I can tell you right now, there's not a single chance that MarineLorD is not taking this from him. He's got the Springald count. He's got the trebuchet count. And most importantly, he's got the keep sitting on top. And a single villager just looks to try and neutralize that sacred site, dodging left and right. Duck, dodge, dive, dip, and dodge right there. Did you see that villager? I think it even lived.
Look at the Nest of Bees, though, coming in here, and Beasty has something on his mind. As I said, he intentionally skipped the Springles, just going full Nest of Bees over here, unleashing Hellfire on the Springles, and hold on, 2 minutes left to go. Still 9 Nest of Bees on the battlefield. Beasty, he might be big-braining all of us over here, because there is a reason why he's not adding Springles, and that is because he trusts in the Nest of Bees over there to keep his enemy away from that sacred site.
You know what? It all makes sense now. When the Springles go in for a little kiss like that, the Nest of Bees don't have to. The Nest of Bees are more than happy to keep their opponents at arm's length. And as a result, it means that Beasty's able to utilize the Nest of Bees as a pseudo keep, because he can just keep things off this sacred site.
And one of the things...
This is absurd. I love it.
One of the things he's diagnosing is that those guys are pretty tanky over here. Those are Clock Tower Nest of Bees, and they do quite a lot of damage against the Springolds. And what's more important is that their fire arcs over hills. So you will always have an angle to shoot at Springolds as compared to Springolds that need to find the proper angle. It's about playing those angles over here. You can always take a shot if you're Beasty, and not if you're MarineLorD.
I can't believe this is hilarious. Oh my god, Beastyqt always finds a way, doesn't he? If there's a will, there's a way. At least that's the way he thinks about it. But you can now see that he stands on the sacred site and it's like, yeah, go for it, mate. I dare you. The Springald numbers here starting to look healthier for MarineLorD. He's up to 5 Springalds. He needs to come in from an angle. That's the thing, right? Because ideally, when you're looking to take out these Nest of Bees, you're going to be heading up with your Springalds, but they're just going to be running in for a kiss. And that's the problem. That's exactly what the Nest of Bees want. They go in for a bit of a kiss. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see Beastyqt just move in with all of his units now. There's a minute and 19 going, so not too long. And you need serious AoE to actually take those down.
Yeah, and you see that the Nest of Bee numbers are not decreasing, they're actually increasing. He's up to 10. His army is exclusively Nest of Bees. The amount of micro you need for this, by the way, is insane. You need to make sure you keep repairing that, and now MarineLorD is sending in the villagers for a decap. It's going to start turning into an all-in for both players in a blink of an eye. Sacred Site almost decapped though, it's only 25% left on it.
This is so stupid. I love it. I can't believe what we're witnessing here. I thought there's no possible way this man holds with what's going on right now. And then all of a sudden, a single mechanic. The fact that the Springalds can't engage on this position at all because he's dug himself a little trench and the villagers just keep going down. He holds onto the Sacred Site with his Nest of Bees. He's looking absolutely glorious. 55 seconds to go right now. MarineLorD struggling to take the Sacred Site off his opponent. You can see that Sacred Site is slowly whittling down. A couple spears going to be making their way on towards that Sacred Site. Villagers sitting here ready to repair, but now all of a sudden they turn their attention towards the trebuchets on the opposite side. We've got boiling oil. MarineLorD's got to be, oh my lord, all the villagers go down to the boiling oil. It's huge damage, but at the same time, all of the Nest of Bees continue to pepper the Sacred Site for the rest of the game. It's so good. It's so good. I love it and I hate it. I love it. Whoa, that's a big villager.
Everybody has to be pulled. The Sacred Site is still 100% capped right now. You need to constantly stand on it and decap it, and the villagers will go for the Nest of Bees, not the Sacred Site. They need to kill them, otherwise they can't decap the Sacred Site.
And now coming in, we see the Springalds on the north side. Beastyqt got a very tight formation here. The villagers on the backside looking to try and take down the Nest of Bees. He fires off towards the middle. The villagers continue coming in with their torches. There's 5 Nest of Bees, 4 Nest of Bees. Numbers starting to go down, and all of a sudden the Sacred Site looking like it might actually get neutralized. And indeed it will, but now Beastyqt turns his attention. He tries to clear out the Sacred Site himself. It's a villager versus villager on the Sacred Site, but there are keeps in the midst of this, and that changes absolutely everything. And now a final battle between a single Springald who goes to kiss its final love, the Nest of Bee, and with that, good game gets called. MarineLorD victorious, 3-1 in this set. Take it back, it's 4-1 in this set. That is huge right now for MarineLorD. What a victory. Wow.
I can't find words for this game. I mean, Beast's idea was so clever. He brought in one of his cheekiest strategies. This is one of those tricks that he was probably hiding in his pocket for potentially the last 2 or 3 months even. He understood the fact that the line of sight is a key factor of these siege engagements, and the plan almost worked out to perfection. He had to dive in with the villagers because the Sacred Site was down to 25% capping. MarineLorD tried to move in with the trebuchets. If those move in, they likely decap it. Beasty responds, sending in his villagers, but all of those villagers got massacred by the boiling oil. Beasty traded those villagers for a couple of extra seconds on that Sacred Site, and ultimately he just didn't have repair power out there. MarineLorD, he played the more meta-style approach in this one, and it worked out. Beasty came in with a clever idea, but this is probably the biggest risk that's associated with completely new and innovative ways of doing things. It either works really well, or it's not gonna work. And this time around, it did not work.
Big shout out to Barbecue Ribs coming in with the 5 gifted subs. He's obviously very happy with the state of the game right now. I am as well. That was intense. That was absolutely insane. Big shout out as well to Jesseology, who gifted 1,000 bits over to the channel. So big shout out to you, Jesseology. Hope that you're doing well and enjoying all of your Age of Empires 4 content. That is for sure. I know both me and Pesty absolutely love it. It's a bit crazy. Some of those 4v4 actions, they get a little bit hectic, don't they? But and another shout out to PM303 as well with the gifted subs. Big shout out to you, mate. Thank you very much, guys.